Well, we've got a customer complaint from the W124. He's complaining of hot air at the side vents. So we're going to look into that. Meanwhile, I'm driving my R129, which is always fun. Let's put the top back on. Put the top back up. Right there. So old school. Yeah, it's working pretty good. All right, on to the W124. All right. So the customer, my son, says it might take a while for it to do it. Blowing hot air out of the side vents when the AC's on. It's fired up. Good, it smells like that. And of course, he has so much gas in there. Wow, it sure feels hot. That is hot air. It's on cold. Temperature's up. Really hot air there. Really hot air there. If you turn the AC on, what happens? Let's see, you put this on. Oh, it's already on cold, so let's try. Wow. Okay, now you see it just did that. There's a wicked noise coming from behind the dash. Turn that off. So this is a recirculation switch, and from what I've been told, it's detecting a fault in the HVAC system. So when we first started, it was hot. If I go, nothing. All right. So either there's a problem with the climate control unit here, or it could be there is a problem with the mono valve. So I'm going to check that first. That's usually the problem. I'll shut this thing off. Yeah, it just shut completely off. Bizarre. You gotta let it cool off a little bit. The mono valve is over there. If I open it up, it's gonna have a lot of hot water. Inspect any fuses. I don't see anything blown. So if we look at, let's see, let's look for the AC. Let's see, window left. Relay, comfort circuitry. Heating water valve. So that's 7. That looks, would be that one right there, that red one. That looks intact. I don't think it's anything here. It'd be too easy. Yeah, that's under a lot of pressure. Right here. So I guess I could test for 12 volts. Now this is a mono valve. Some of these have dual valves. This is a mono valve. And it has a solenoid in here that's electrically operated with a constant 12 volts. And I imagine that, there's a solenoid in here, and there's a little plunger. It goes up and down. It looks like a mushroom at the bottom. It goes up and down. So I think, not 100% sure, but that plunger is supposed to be all the way down with the AC on. That plunger should be going down. This sends power to it and sends it down and blocks off the flow of the coolant, because this has a coolant line. There's either one or two. I think there's 1, 2, 3 coolant lines, and that's coming from the, let's see, that's going to the auxiliary water pump. I have this unplugged because this thing is kind of flaky, expensive. During the winter time I have this hooked up. It helps with the heater. During the summertime I disconnect it. Doobie-doobie-doo. So yeah, I'm just going to test for 12 volts right there. Okay, let's put the key in. Right there. $12 volts. Looking for 12 volts on this thing here. Let's see, it's a DC mode. Please. Okay. So we have voltage, so that's good. So that means that inside of this thing needs to be cleaned out. We're going to try that and see if that solves it. Maybe it will, maybe now we're going to test it. Now this is the top of the mono valve. All right. And you have this diaphragm right here. And you got to make sure there's no rips in it. It doesn't look. Turn the light on. There's no, I don't believe there's any rips in it. Okay, then you have, in here is the solenoid part. Pretty bizarre, huh? See that? That right there. We're going to clean all this up. This right here, see? Then you have a spring. And you have the inside. Okay. So this is just one big giant coil. When the 12 volts is applied, it makes a magnetic field or whatever it does, and it moves this thing in and out. And then you have this weird looking little plunger thing, which it looks okay, but we'll clean it up too. And that goes right in there. You can see where the coolant is right there. That goes right here. So when this thing moves, there's always power on it. It's moving that down, pushing this down and blocking off of the flow to the heater core. Looks all good, but we're going to test continuity here. Hold on. Oh my God, what was that? Okay, we got that. John, take that black one and touch this side right here. Just this one here, and I'll touch this one. Ooh. Nothing. Not good. So this thing This thing is junk. Wait. Okay, try this terminal up here. Forget that. Okay, so try it again. Okay, so we are getting continuity there. It's kind of weird. I guess it must be coated with something. Not weird. Here, try right along here. Okay. So we are getting continuity through there. I'm gonna put it back together. I'm gonna clean all this stuff up and see what happens. It might not be the problem because it's a pretty weird problem the way it just shut the whole system off like that. I don't understand that. Okay, so I got it back together. I cleaned all that stuff out. There's some O-ring that goes here, which is kind of hard to get on. It might leak. It's hard to tell if it's seated or not. I'll find out, no big deal. So, from what I understand, you should feel this thing clicking with the climate control unit on. Let's see if I got a key somewhere. Okay. It's probably not the problem, but you never know. You never know. Get in there. Why is it so hard on this side? Okay. First, let me. Let's see what happens. There's so much junk in this car. Okay. So, oops, there it goes. So it is bad. Something else. Okay, now we're gonna try see if there's any codes. Take this, let's see, it's an LED. I think this is more emission. Hold it down. Let go. Nothing. Let's see, hold it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nada. This thing's not even reading any codes. That's pretty weird. What, buddy, your car is got issues. All right, search goes on. It might be the climate control unit. I know that last September when it was really hot. Yeah, there.
It was doing it for me even with everything off, and then I just put in accessory or whatever, and
Yeah.
it would.
Well, I know last September we were having issues with it kind of overheating. We replaced the entire cooling system. And I had traced, I think, a high-speed auxiliary fan function. There's a relay in the fuse box for that. And when I traced it, it's a sensor on top of the head. And according to the schematic, one of those sensor line goes to the climate control unit. And from there, I don't know where it goes, it doesn't show, but I imagine it goes to that relay and tells it to turn on. So if that thing was kind of flaky, it was hard to determine if it's good or bad. I tested the relay, but the relay was okay. But the signal to it, sensor to this, from this to the relay, this thing might just be, you know, maybe the solder joints are bad on it. I think we have a couple other ones, but they all have issues unless you get one that's all rebuilt and everything. You just never know, you know. And this one is always, it has a really low speed fan. You can hear it. Before it didn't have that. You get in here and, you know, just the way we are now, you wouldn't hear that. But when I put this one, this is probably 8 years ago that we did it. So maybe it's just time that this thing is gone kaput. We'll try another one. We'll take this one out, inspect the solder, the board on it, maybe reflow some of the solder, see if that helps. But let's ask Ben's World too. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, so it's the next day. I'm gonna have the car all day. My son's gonna use the minivan to go to work. So this is a code reader, and I built one of these. I went to Lowe's and I got all the parts. Banana plugs, 4mm, momentary switch. It's just on and off. I think mine's a push button one. And then a little LED light. I forgot where I got the LED light. I think I scavenged it from something I had laying around, but so. This is what you do. Read codes, ignition on, engine not running. Press 2-4 seconds, wait and count flashes. Repeat until code repeats. A single flash, no faults logged. And then to clear the codes, you press that LED button on the on this thing here. This is if you have this type of system. It's a X11 for the LED push button unit that comes with the car. And let's see what I think one is the button that you push to clear the codes. And then there's reset app ignition on, ignition not running, clear codes until you get a single flash. You press it 6 to 8 seconds, ignition off. Minimum of 5 seconds, ignition on. Minimum 10 seconds, start engine. Okay, so these are the trouble codes right here. So I'm looking at number 7. I'm going to test automatic AC push button control module. So I think next thing I got to do is find the chart that gives you the number of blinks, because this thing will, when you've got this hooked up right, it'll blink out codes through this. Because this push button unit here with the LED is mostly for emissions. It'll shoot you codes for emissions. It's usually like the only thing I've ever been able to get out of it is the O2 sensor being bad, maybe crank position sensor. I don't, let's see, I don't think so. But anyway, so there's that. I'm gonna try that, see if there's any codes. Yeah, see, this is what I've got here. It's a California version. And yeah, I guess number 2 is the button that you push, and that's the LED. So I push that down, I count 4 seconds, release it. This thing will start flashing out codes, mostly for the emission related stuff. And then to clear it, just the ignition on, engine off, you hold this down about 8 seconds, then release it, and this will flash. If the this will flash once, that clears the codes. If you get one flash, that's what you want out of this thing here. You can see a lot of these are empty. 7 does have it does have something hooked up to it. Empty, empty, empty. These might have something. I don't know, we'll see. Oh, and I've got some spare climate control units, but they all had their own issues. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go up in the attic and go dig around for those things. And when the problem happens, I'm gonna quickly switch out the climate control unit and see if it stops that light from flashing and blower, the whole thing being on-op. I want to see if maybe we just need another climate control unit, because it's the brain, you know, it's the brain of the climate control. So, all right. Okay, it's the next morning now. So I want to try to read, see if this thing works with the pretty cold engine. You know, I just backed it out of the driveway and get it up front here. So we're gonna find a key. I got good voltage with this thing here. Amazon, like $16. It's called, God, it's so bright out. This is great. I use this to diagnose a lot of electrical issues by just plugging it in the cigarette lighter and operating different things while driving at night. Turn the lights on, see if your alternator's putting out. Anyway, so just put it to right there, the ACC. Man, it's gonna be hot here today. It is it very end of March, pretty much. Okay, so here it is. So one, two, three. So one flash means no faults found in that part of the system. I hear a dog. I hope it's a dog that's just visiting, because last time there was a dog over there, it just sat there and just barked at me continuously. So I have this gizmo right here that I should be able to hook up to those pins there. Okay, hopefully Rick's OBD1 diagnostic code reader, 88 to 95. So the black is ground, the red is positive, and the yellow is for test. All right. So with a 16 pin, the black should be the number 1 pin, red in the number 16, or touching the battery. Ignition on. And then the yellow, I have to figure out think it's 7 that'll test the climate control unit socket connector. So let's see if there's anything else in here. Connection. No, it's enough to give you a headache. This is done with a scanner. Layout vehicle. So I don't have the 8 pole. 16 pole. So number 7 is AC air conditioning model 124, and the B roll bar for R129. So number 7. Let's see what I can find. Turn the key to accessory. We got black in number 1. It's the test for the climate control unit. Positive. Kind of hard to do it that way, huh? I can 2, 3. Nothing there. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm not getting anything off there. Do some more research. Okay, so I just read those codes. As you saw, nothing happened. So, see, this is right here. Let's see if this can, I don't think you can click on this, make it bigger, but well, maybe a little bit. But see, there's my 16 pin code reading device. But so he's got, this is something that this guy sells or something, and it's basically exactly what I made. So how to read the code. So I turn the ignition on, not started, press and hold the red button for 2 or 3 seconds, count the number of lights and write them down. I didn't get any. This is your DTC number. Continue until the light count repeats itself. If no light flashes or one flash indicates no code stored. So I got no flashes, so there's no code stored. Okay, so what I think what's going on is right now, being that the engine's cold and everything, I can start the car. In fact, let's do it now. I'll start the car and wait for the symptom to appear, and then test for codes. I've got everything. I should probably disconnect some of those wires just in case. I've also read that you can't really screw this up by doing the wrong, the wrong pins. Get this over there. Oh, it's going to be hot today. Southern California, so this is a 1992 300E W124 with an M103 engine. Let's see what happens here. No, nothing blinking. I asked my son, when does it start doing it? I don't know. It's really not helpful. He's just mad that it's doing it, and he's mad that he has to go to work, and I'm retired and I don't. But I do have some spare units here. They're not, I think I have one of them that kind of works. This one is a refurbished one. I forget how much we paid for it, but it's that was 9 years ago. I was looking through my posts in Benz World, and I had a couple posts about this. What the hell is that? What's going on? Why am I getting hot air? You know. And that was in 2014, and now it's 2022, so that was a while ago last time this problem surfaced. So let's give it a shot. Nice cold air in the vent. Yeah, see, so the AC is working now. I hate it when this car does this kind of stuff, and a lot of these early, these early 90s or late 80s, 90s had these kind of HVAC problems, and I've read all kinds of things where, one guy this morning, I posted on Benz World again that the problem is happening. One of the guys there has been there for a while. He goes, it could be your ignition switch. I've read things like, oh, I changed my voltage regulator and it went away. I replaced this module over there and it went away. It was the air conditioning compressor causing it. It was the blower motor resistor. I replaced it, it went away. I've replaced the blower motor resistor in this thing. That was 14 years ago. And it still is having the problem. So I over the years I've replaced a few parts for this. So right now it seems to be working. Blowing ice cold. I rebuilt this whole, all the pods back there. Another person. Yeah, I had bad pods behind the dash. A vacuum problem. And the problem went away. So, but I've had this entire dashboard off. All of this looked like a bomb went off. I replaced the heater core, the air conditioning evaporator. I think there's like 9 vacuum pods for all the doors. I replaced all those. Before we weren't getting any air out of the center vent, and that requires taking the dash off, which is totally doable, but it'll take you 10 hours to get this thing off. Even the Mercedes technicians was like, I don't know, they build something crazy like, 10 hours plus. It's just you got to mark everything and remember where everything goes. Once you get this off, there's just all these tubes everywhere, vacuum. You can imagine, pretty crazy. So yeah, it seems to be working good. Put it in low. Let's try this. Off. The temperature is up. Maybe I should drive it around. Why does he always leave me with an empty gas tank? The gas here is about $7 a gallon for this thing now. In Southern California, it's crazy. All right, so just gonna let it run, I guess. There's one thing I can check. One thing I did do was add a resistor, the coolant temperature sensor, last September, and it's the 2-pin sensor, and that is for It goes, one of the wires goes straight to the climate control unit from the sensor on the head. One of the wires goes straight to this thing. I had pulled it out and I did a continuity check because I didn't believe it. So if this thing has got some weird problem, you know, it can do all kinds. I was tracing down a high-speed auxiliary fan function. You know, why is it? It comes on sometimes. Sometimes it should be coming on when the temperatures get really hot on here, and the brain here is telling the relay to turn on. One relay for the high-speed function of the auxiliary fan. All right, so let's give it another shot. I watch it probably won't do it, so I keep working at it. Okay, so I've got a ooh, gotta take that apart. It's leaking. I don't think I put that gasket on right in the dark. I'm gonna do that. So right there is the coolant temperature sensor from my research. You can see the resistor right there, soldered in. 1,000 ohm resistor, and I'm supposed to fool the system in thinking that it's it fools the system and makes the auxiliary fans come on sooner, you know, because usually the high-speed function is when that needle is like, whoa, man, it's almost up to the red, ready to warp your head. So a lot of people do different things for that. But I replaced everything in this cooling system: new radiator, new water pump, fan clutch, expansion tank, thermostat, sensors, relays. I checked everything, man. And I never really did find one thing that was wrong, so it's possibly that climate control unit is acting up. We'll check that out. You can also ohm out this mono valve. Should be around 15. Kind of hard to do it too. Holding the phone, but let's see. Yeah, see around 14, 15. Yeah. It's another way of testing. These things are godly expensive. Yeah, I got the mono valve back together. Got to keep an eye on it. There's yeah, see, it's still leaking. This round O-ring that has to be just perfect. Pain in the butt. But cold air coming out. Cold air here. See what I mean? It's like this weird intermittent thing, and you basically have to drive it around for a while, I guess. Okay. Let's work on that mono valve some more. I hate that O-ring. Okay, just in case you forget how it goes back together. Should be this part like this, okay? And then you have an O-ring right here on this. And this part, the circular part, gets lined up there. Or you'll have a leak like I did. So that O-ring makes the seal for this part. Then you've got this. It goes like that. And then this little part goes like that. And this is what makes the seal and the part of the body part. That's why mine was leaking. I had this on the other side. because I was taking it apart at night. Okay, I'm driving it around the block. Everything still works. Temperature outside is about 82. Engine temperature is close to the 100 mark. Not normal. I got 13 volts with the AC on. I'll turn it off. Volts go back up. Oh, there it goes. Hear that weird noise? So now it's gonna have heat. Okay. Wait for all these cars to get out of my way. Oh my God. Okay. So we got the flashing light. So all it took was going around the block. Yeah, I can feel the. Ooh, I can feel the heat coming out. Let's bring it back home. See if yeah, it's starting to roast in here. Boy, did I make a mess. So I've got nada. Let's go check out. Yeah, it's starting to cool again. So one of those things, man. Intermittent. Let's drive mechanics crazy when people bring their cars in. Yeah, it does this every once in a while. Can you fix it? Mechanic. Let's just sit there and like let it run, drive it around, nothing happens. Couldn't find the problem. Didn't happen, and the customer, it's still doing it. Now I guess I can check codes. There probably won't be any codes. Oh, there it goes. You hear that weird noise coming from. Okay. Read codes. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Probably won't be anything. Nothing. Okay, I'm going to check the strip views right here. Somebody on Benz World told me to check it. Make sure it's not all burnt or anything. It looks good to me. 30 amp. I think that controls the blower. I think. Yeah, let's look at fuse number 7. Looks okay. All of these have been replaced. All right, let's go inside and pull the climate control unit. Okay, so I gotta take this thing off. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to remember. I'll forget. Oh, no, okay. So there's 2 screws right here. So when we bought this car years ago, the previous owner was a woman that, I don't know, she kind of thrashed it. I think she had, I don't know if this stereo, if this came with it or if I put it in, I forget. So then this part just lifts up. And it's got 2 hooks. Where is it? Right there, those 2 hooks. Hook right in under here, and then it goes down. And there's the lovely climate control unit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. So there's this little thing here, and there's 2 big these guys here on either side. Usually I get a little screwdriver and pry up. Let's see. Yeah. Right here, there's a bunch of pins under there. And I just stick a little screwdriver in those holes gently on either side and just start working it out because they're pretty easy to break. I think I'll get that little screwdriver now. Yeah, she had, I had found a bunch of cut grounds all over under here. I don't know why. Somebody had cut all these ground wires. They're brown wires. And I think even behind here, I found some disconnected grounds. I have no idea why, but that's always been kind of a weird issue. You know, like, well, where'd those things, why did they do that? So, I don't know, it caused me a lot of grief. Okay, so I got the main plugs off. Then there's, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some more plugs right here. Let's see. Oh, these are the switches. So I'll figure out how to get these out. I think they pry out also. Now there's 4 screws that hold that in there. 1 here, 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 and right here. And the whole unit comes off. What does it say? This unit makes monovalve go on and off. Okay. Makes the monovalve go on and off. Well, why is it in here? Okay, well, we'll try swapping it out. All right, so there's that. This one is dead. This is for 85 to 87. here. Resoldered it in 2012. Bought it on eBay 2011, and it says good. So make sure it's all got the same stuff on it. Yeah, looks like it does. Okay, let's install this one. Yeah, see they have a number, part number W124 A302185. And if you can, when you take yours out, find one with that same number on it. Because I don't know, maybe they're all the same, but you know, things did change a little bit throughout the years. You never know. All right, so I'm driving around. And a reserve light is coming on, so I might have to get some gas. I don't know. Do not have any AC function or anything on. I'm kind of waiting for it to warm up. It's warming up pretty quickly. It's 83 outside right now. So nobody's moving in or moving out. Okay, let's try that's in, and it's getting cold. Getting really low on gas. The next time I'm going to tell my son, make sure there's gas in the car when you give it to me to work on. Nice cold AC. Everything's working so far. Drive it some more, but I'm kind of afraid with that kind of gas. Alright, I'm gonna get my wallet. Put the wallet. Get some gas. Far so good. There's my neighbor. Hello. Real nice Spanish lady. Let's see, it's on the it's on the right side. I think this gas station is like let's see, is there anybody that's not getting gas? Yeah. There we are. What's the price? $6.59 a gallon. Okay, we can do it. Turn that off. Always a weird noise coming from. Must be vacuum pods or something that are some doors or something. Okay. That's good. All right, I put $25 in. That gave me 3.7 a gallon. Of course, I got some fuel. Let's give it a. Okay. So far so good. AC's working. Glad to see the fans are working. On the back of these, there's 4 screws. Then it'll dead for different years. The warranty. So I think this was one we probably bought for a couple $100. Oh yeah, see how clean it is. Yeah, so I think this one might still be good. I don't know why I'd say dead, but kind of bizarre. Anyways, if it starts happening again, I'll make another video and we'll keep trying it out. Later.